drought-cracked riverbed lies one of the last cool, safe places for miles. Deeper still, a mother and her newborn pup share the same shelter. Days without water have pushed this honey badger past caution. It isn't looking for a fight, but it isn't going to ask permission either. Needleback hears the danger before it ever reaches the doorway. The honey badger doesn't stalk, it simply charges. In seconds, the intruder is already inside. Needleback's response is immediate and unmistakable. The siege of the sunken cave has begun. Needleback's reverse strike is one of the fastest defensive moves in the animal kingdom. That contact is sharp enough to send most animals running immediately. But the honey badger doesn't retreat, it comes right back. Needleback's quill wall is nearly impossible to approach head-on. So the honey badger changes its approach completely. It finds a narrow gap Needleback's rear defense can't fully cover. In this tight space, size finally works against Needleback. The intruder has slipped past the first line of defense. Needleback's own size now blocks his path forward. It doesn't know yet what's waiting deeper in the dark. Deep in the dark, Bladehide feels the danger long before she sees it. Her first instinct is entirely about protecting what's hers. The honey badger finally reaches the deepest part of the burrow. It has never encountered anything built quite like this before. In an instant, mother and pup vanish inside an armored fortress. The honey badger doesn't hesitate to test this new obstacle immediately. Its teeth find nothing to hold on to. Even the seams between the scales refuse to give way. Full body weight makes no difference against this kind of armor. Inside her armored shell, Bladehide and her pup remain completely calm. Needleback hasn't given up. He's simply repositioning. He positions himself directly across the only way out. Whether he planned it or not, the intruder's escape route just disappeared. The honey badger has walked directly into the middle of two very different fortresses. For the first time all day, the honey badger hesitates. Needleback doesn't need to attack. Simply standing here is enough. Needleback hasn't moved an inch this entire time. Days of heat and hunger are finally starting to catch up with it. Needleback senses the moment and closes the distance just slightly. The space to maneuver is shrinking fast. This is the first real cost the honey badger has felt all day. Needleback doesn't need to do anything more than simply wait. For the first time today, the honey badger truly understands the position it's in. Bladehide's patience has not wavered once since this began. The siege has reached its tensest point yet. It shifts from attacking to studying, hoping for something it missed. Even movement doesn't create the opening it's hoping for. Bladehide reacts to every single point of pressure instantly. What started as aggression is turning into something closer to desperation. The gap between effort and result has never been wider. Even its attempts against Needleback are losing their earlier intensity. Needleback notices the change immediately, but doesn't relax for a second. For the first time all day, the honey badger considers giving up. It has finally run out of new plans. Needleback doesn't need to force the moment. The moment is arriving on its own. For a moment, the real reason it came here at all becomes clear. For the first time today, the honey badger isn't trying to force anything. It wasn't really the pangolin or the porcupine it wanted at all. Bladehide senses the change too, and stays cautious but watchful. For the first time today, the honey badger isn't trying to force anything. What it needed all along was simply within reach the entire time. With its thirst finally addressed, the honey badger's urgency starts to fade. Even Needleback can sense the shift in the air. For the first time, the honey badger chooses to step back on its own. Bladehide begins to relax, but only just. Needleback makes a small, deliberate choice of his own. For the first time in what feels like hours, Needleback finally begins to relax. The honey badger is finally leaving the way it came. By evening, it will find water and shelter somewhere else, just not here. Needleback returns to his usual quiet post at the entrance. That protection held from the very first vibration to the very last.